welcome to Weekly Economic Insights, your weekly dose of events and news that you need to know to manage your personal finances. I am Ridhima Bhatnagar. Let's begin with all the stock market action. Let's begin with the Indian markets. The Nifty gained 258.2 points this week, about 1.18%, and closed at 22,040.70. Sensex gained about 1.16%, which is about 830.75 points this week, and closed at 72,426.64. FII sold securities worth Rs 6,237.55 crore net, whereas DIIs bought securities worth Rs 8,731.60 crore net. Let's now talk about some global market action. Nasdaq Composite was down 215.01 points, which is about 1.34% this week. That was compared to last week's closing. Nikkei 225 index gained 1,589.82 points, which is about 4.3% this week compared to last week's closing. FTSE 100 gained 139.13 points, which is about 1.79% this week compared to last week's closing. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at 38,627.99, down marginally by only 43.7 points, about 0.11% compared to last week's close. Hang Seng gained 593.38 points, which was about 3.7% this week compared to last week's closing. Oil futures gained $2.62 and are up 3.4% this week, closing at $79.22. In news from the crypto space, Bitcoin gained $4,796.6, which is about 10.14% compared to last week's ending. Let's now move from all the market action to the big corporate news. Reliance crossed Rs 20 lakh crore in market cap. Reliance shares crossed Rs 2,957 on Tuesday, making it the first Indian company ever to cross the market cap of Rs 20 lakh crore. Now, why is this such a mean feat? And that is because there are only 3 companies valued above Rs 10 lakh crore by market cap in India. The first one is Reliance Industries. TCS comes second with a market cap of Rs 14.84 lakh crore, and HDFC Bank comes third with a market cap of Rs 10.7 lakh crore. Let's now talk about news from the Supreme Court. In a big move, the top court declared electoral bonds as unconstitutional. The court unanimously held that voters have a right to information about political parties and their sources of funding. It highlighted the deep association between money and politics and how economic inequality contributes to political inequality by increasing the possibility of a quid pro quo arrangement for those with the ability to contribute larger amounts of political parties. The court has now directed the Election Commission of India to ascertain details of all such bonds issued after the 12th of April 2019 till date from political parties and the State Bank of India. Now, this includes the names of donors, purchasers, and amount donated by them to the parties along with the date of purchase. The State Bank of India has to now submit all this information to the ECI till the 6th of March this year. Thereafter, the ECI will then publish all this information by the 13th of March of this year. Let's now talk about the latest in the PayTM saga. The RBI has extended the timeline for some PayTM facilities to 15th of March of this year. Now, keeping in view the interest of customers, the RBI has allowed users of PayTM wallet, NCMC cards, FASTags, etc. to other deposit or credit transactions or top-ups in their accounts till the 15th of March. Now, the earlier deadline for the same was 29th of February. However, the central bank has not extended the timeline for closure and settlement of pipeline transaction in PayTM's nodal account. Let's now talk about some key and interesting data. CPI for the month of January. The provisional CPI, or the Consumer Price Index inflation for the month of January 2024 stood at 5.10%, whereas the CFPI, or the Consumer Food Price Index inflation rate, was 8.30%. On a monthly basis, the overall value of the CPI declined about 0.11% from 185.7 in December 2023 to about 185.5 in January 2024. Vegetables, along with pulses and products, recorded the highest inflation in the last year, 1 year period, with prices rising 27.03% and 19.54% respectively. Let's now talk about the IIP estimates for the month of December 2023 that stand at 151.5. A growth of 3.8% has been estimated for the month of December 2024, and growth for the month of April to December 2023 is 6.1%. In news from the real estate space, sales of luxury houses has jumped a whopping 75%. As per data from the CBRE, the sales of luxury homes in India, priced at rupees 4 crore and above, jumped 75% last year, doubling the share of these homes in total housing sales. A total of 12,935 such homes were sold in 2023, and that was compared to just 7,395 houses in 2022. And before we go, let's bring you some global news. United Kingdom's economy is in recession. This after people cut spending. The economy shrank by a larger than expected 0.3% between the months of October and December, after it had already contracted between July and September. Let's move from the UK to the USA. The US Department of Labor released the data for the Consumer Price Index this week. It said CPI for all urban consumers increased 0.3% in January compared to 0.2% in December. It also said that food index increased 0.4% in January, whereas the energy index fell 0.9% over the month due in large part to the decline in the gasoline index. In news from Japan, Japan is no longer the world's third largest economy. The Cabinet Office of Japan released the quarterly estimates of GDP for October to December 2023, and this data was released on the 15th of February this year. In 2022, the growth rate in Q4 was 0.4%, but in 2023 it has become negative 0.4% for the same period, following a negative 0.8% contraction in Q3. Now, this contraction in 2 consecutive quarters has led to Japan slipping into what is called a technical recession. According to the IMF, Germany has a GDP of $4.7 trillion, whereas Japan has a GDP of $4.29 trillion, much less than the German economy. This indicates that Japan is no longer the third largest economy and has lost its position to Germany becoming the 4th largest economy in the world. Well, with this, we've reached the end of this video. Do not forget to share this video. One Finance will bring you every week top news and updates that impact your personal finances. To follow One Finance.